Welcome to the Beesies.
I'm Abby.
I'm Brittany.
I'm Jenny.
And I'm Mackenzie.
Remember the college days when you were best friends with your roommates?
You would come home and talk about anything and everything together.
We miss this phase so much that we decided we needed this quality roommate time again.
So welcome to the Beesies. Come over and get cozy with your new favorite roommates.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. Welcome
Hiya.
to Beesies,
Welcome.
your favorite podcast with the four most awesome girls in the world who all love living together but haven't lived together in the last 5 years.
And we all have a fully developed frontal lobe.
That's so true. All of these things are so true.
I love that for us.
I'm so happy to have a brain.
Me too.
I'm really glad you have a brain as well.
Well,
Yes.
we're just jumping in because we're batching episodes, and so we have no updates for you.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
just want to get into this.
Yeah.
Yep. So today we're doing an episode similar to what we did a couple weeks ago, where each of us is coming with a surprise topic, and we're going to spend 10-15 minutes talking about that topic between each of us. So I hope you guys enjoy and are ready for a little bit of a roller coaster once again. I'm starting today because I just feel like random about this and I just want to get it out of the way. So I was driving home last night from Sedona. So I had a little 2-hour drive listening to some music, some podcasts, and the song Roses from the Chainsmokers came on. Do you guys remember that song?
Yeah.
I think
Take
so.
it slow.
Yep.
Yep, that one.
Oh, yeah.
That song takes me back so much. It's kind of crazy. Like, I feel like I have a visceral reaction to hearing that song because it reminds me so much of my freshman year of college.
Yep.
That was like 1 out of 5 songs that I think everybody listened to, that I knew at least, during that time. And it just kind of made me think I want to talk about this and other songs maybe that you guys have that when they come on, you have, like, do you guys have songs like that kind of create that reaction or that nostalgic feeling inside of you?
Anything Chainsmokers reminds me of college. But specifically the song with Halsey.
Yes. I was going to say.
They'll
Yes.
beat to death in Tucson.
Yep.
What is that called?
Yes.
I don't remember.
Closer.
Go on.
Closer.
I know it breaks
Baby,
your
home.
heart.
Yeah.
Especially because they mentioned Tucson,
Yep.
and that's where we
Yes.
were.
It
And
would
I
go
remember
wild.
when that would play while we were out, like, yes, with my friends and stuff, and that song would come on, and people were so proud of the fact that they mentioned Tucson that they, like, screamed that part, and it was
Yeah.
so fun.
Also reminds me of 2016 freshman year of college is the song by 5 Seconds of Summer, Boys Talk, Girls Talk.
Yes.
I don't
I know the
remember
one you're
that.
talking
What is
about.
that called? Because when the
Oh,
girls talk boys.
I know what you're talking about, but I can't think of it.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to need
At
more
least we-
details for it to spark my brain.
I can't remember the lyrics. Cause when the boys talk girls. Yes.
I do not know.
I
that.
think it's
I've
called
never
Boys
heard
Talk.
that.
I know what you're talking about, and it's
Yeah.
driving me crazy because that's all I can think of, and it's because you're singing it right now. I don't
Cause
know.
I've been
Interesting.
talking to my friends. The way you take away my breath is something bigger than myself.
I don't think I've ever heard
think
that
I
song
know
before.
that. Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, you do.
I love it, though.
But I love that for you.
Thank you.
The song that I have, like, so many. One of them is Machine Gun Kelly and Camila Cabello.
Oh my God.
It's like, are you having
Bad Things.
Yes, Bad Things. That was such a funny song. and that just reminds me of 2016, especially because she was wearing like a choker in the music video, and chokers were so in. And then Phantom of the Opera for some reason.
Yeah.
Phantom of the Opera.
The
Yeah.
Sing album.
Yes, I was just gonna say the Sing song, the big, like, I don't know what it's called.
What?
Once there was a way.
Oh.
Yeah.
Golden Slumbers.
Yeah.
That's what
Yes.
it's called. That reminds me of college too.
That's so funny.
Songs in a sad way that remind me of college is I rewatched Vampire Diaries one semester and made a playlist of a bunch of songs from that. And then
I still listen to that playlist, by the way.
Me too, constantly. But
Yep.
it reminds me of a specific breakup, not breakup. We love situationships because I listen to that constantly after, and they're all like pretty depressing songs. And so now I like get so in my feels and emo about it. But then positive memory, like visceral reaction, is whenever I listen to Love's, I'm probably saying his name wrong, but I don't care. The Modern Loneliness album. It reminds me of COVID and playing Rummikub with Brooke.
Rummy Cube?
Yeah, we call it Rummikub or Rummikub.
Okay. I was like, I've never heard that pronunciation before.
Yeah, whatever. That game.
Yeah,
Tub Tub. With my mom and Brooke and Scott, because we would always listen to that album because it just come out, and so it makes me so happy.
I love that.
Emo in a good
know
way.
what's
Awesome.
A good song. Abby, you weren't there for this, but when we all went to Colorado and the Bad
don't
Liar
remind me.
song by Imagine
Oh my
Dragons.
God.
Oh, yeah.
We kept
I'm a
saying that he was saying, I'm a
vampire.
vampire.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was just so funny.
Which I think I like that a little better, honestly.
It's better.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of Imagine Dragons, Dan Reynolds is so hot.
Is he the
Is that
main
the
guy?
lead singer?
Mhm.
Let me look him up real quick.
Interesting. I've
See
never
if
thought
I
that about
agree.
him.
You know
He
what
just
I
has
love?
like grown man energy, you know? He's just like a grown daddy man.
He has
I don't know.
he has abs.
Abby, one of my favorite things is when you disagree in like ways like that, or you just haven't, like when you say, interesting, I haven't thought about that, like so often, but it's
Like-
such a like nice way of disagreeing.
You're like, what a stupid thought. I've never
Well,
had
no,
that.
like-
No, I feel like
Never
it's like
had that
a
dumb
like
thought.
Yeah.
I really haven't thought of that.
No,
Let me
it's
think of it.
so genuine is
Just
why I
like,
love it.
That's not ever a thought that I've been like, oh yeah, he's so hot. So I'm like, okay, let me think about it in that way.
No,
and
I
see if
love
agree.
it.
I don't have a formed opinion about
It's
it.
so funny. I love it so much. Anyways, that's all I wanted to say.
When I think of my specifically for some reason my freshman year of college is more in my brain in terms of like the music than any of the other years, because I feel like, well, okay, I was going out with friends a lot, and so like listening to music at like parties,
Mhm.
they would play literally the same like 20 songs over and over again, so you just get so much exposure to it. And the ones I specifically remember, so Chainsmokers, absolutely, I listened to them so much in college. Have you guys ever heard the song Jordan Belfort?
Mm-mm.
No.
That one came on so much. It was just, yeah, random. Dancing Like a Stripper. I don't know if that's the name of the song, but that's, you know, the one.
Dancing with a Stranger
No, Dancing Like
by
a Stripper. Like,
Normani.
somebody come get her.
Oh.
She dancing like
Oh,
a stripper.
I love that song.
Uh-huh.
I
I thought you were
love
talking about
that
the
song.
Normani and Sam Smith.
Yeah.
song dancing.
No.
They're playing that at the frats.
Yeah.
Right.
I love that song.
Drake, specifically One Dance,
Yeah.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Hotline Bling.
Yeah.
I
Yes,
feel like we
Hotline
forget
Bling.
that was such a
Yes.
moment.
Yes.
but
That
the,
came out while we were in college.
Yes.
The music
yes,
video.
the music
So good.
video, the ringtone. Did you guys remember the ringtone that came out? Like, I don't know, just so many things
I love
around
Hotline
music
Bling.
during that time that I feel like was so like pop culture, like ingrained in the pop culture and stuff like that.
Well, I can't wait for us in like 20 years to just like blast that music in our cars with our
Yes.
kids the way that our parents blast like 80s music.
Yes.
Yes.
Somebody
Yes,
come get
absolutely.
her.
Yeah.
She's
And they're gonna be like,
Amazing.
Mom, what are you doing? Like, you're dancing like a stripper? Like, what? Be so embarrassed.
back
of
in
us.
my day. This is how I used to dance.
Yeah.
My kids and I are going to be listening to a lot of Ariana Grande.
Yes.
Yes. When I hear Ariana Grande specifically, I think the Sweetener album, I think of you, Jenny, because I think you were the first one who showed me it and was like,
I think
"You
of
need to
Wrong,
Mackenzie.
wrong,
listen to
wrong,
this."
wrong, 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 wrong.
Okay.
It was
Sorry,
me.
sorry. Okay.
It was me.
Give her the credit she deserves.
Sorry,
No,
Kenzie.
to be fair, I was
Kenzie.
also a big Sweetener.
You were.
So it could be us.
I think it
Yes.
was just both of you. I don't know. Someone was in the car and they
Me.
were like, "Did you hear the new album?" And I was like, "No, play it for me." And then one of you guys played it for me and I was sold.
Played at.
Two
That's my
memories.
favorite Ariana album.
2 memories quick. Sweetener reminds me of walking to all of my family studies classes because I would have like a 15-minute walk and I would be listening to that album just the whole time. And then Bruno Mars album, the one with
Yes.
24 karat, yeah, that one reminds me of working out because I would listen to it on repeat for like 6 months straight while I was working out
Nice.
in college. That's all. Oh,
That's some
that's
good
so fun to
vibes.
think about.
We've
love
been
that.
cut off. Time for a new topic.
I love
All
Okay.
right, Jenny.
And it's my turn. Okay. Here's mine. Mine's a funny question that I saw. And hopefully we can do it real quick. But it was, and we'll do it for each of us. If you
Okay.
saw me in the street arguing with a stranger.
I've seen this. I wanted to ask you guys this.
Yeah. Okay, so if you saw me in the street arguing with a stranger, what would you automatically assume that we're fighting about?
They did something sexist.
Oh, okay.
Like for me,
Yeah.
well, maybe not arguing on the street actually, but okay, if you were arguing with somebody that you knew even in the slightest, I would assume it was probably something to do with feminism or like sexism, that realm.
Mm.
But a stranger.
Yeah, but a stranger,
Okay,
I need
a
to
s-
think.
A stranger, you're arguing about like the price of something. Like, no, I have this coupon, and
Yeah.
they're like,
Yes.
no,
Yeah.
we're not going to accept this coupon, and you're like, why? Like, you're good at
Yeah.
bargaining like that.
Yeah,
That's so funny.
that's good.
What's the? I said that wrong.
No, I think bargaining's like bartering.
Bartering is what
Bartering.
I tried to say.
Yeah. I see that. I feel like if somebody, I don't know why this is coming in my head, but like if a stranger on the street tried to come and like grope you or something, I don't actually think you would get like in a fight. I think you'd be like,
Kenzie
"Oh my
was
gosh,
there.
what?" And then
She's
run
been groped.
away.
I was groped in Chicago.
And then you would talk about it for the rest of the next day, like about why it's upsetting you. But I don't know if you would like confront that person. So I feel like those things,
Yeah, I feel like
I don't know if I would imagine that.
Yeah, if it would have to be something like, I don't want to say smaller or petty, but like how Kenzie was saying, something in that genre for you to be actually arguing with them, like a
Yeah.
stranger.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the next person, Mackenzie. If I saw you arguing on the street with someone and you're like arguing with them, I think it would be you saw them do something like mean or like they're like treating someone else
Yeah.
really bad
Like
and
a
you're like,
homeless
excuse
man. Like someone's
Yeah.
harassing a homeless man and you're like,
"Hey."
want to step in and say that you shouldn't do that.
You're sticking
me? That's
up
what
for
I
them.
see
Mm.
if I see you arguing with a stranger.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing. If I see Kenzie arguing with a stranger, I'm going to be worried about your mental well-being because like you
She's
yeah,
non-confrontational.
exactly.
Yeah, it would have to be serious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There
Yes.
are-
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were you going to
Um,
say?
Here's
Kenzie?
the thing Oh, Kenzie, sorry, go ahead.
No, like it would take a lot for me to
Yeah.
argue with someone, especially a stranger, but it would be like if someone was like harassing a disabled person, like
Yes.
that
yeah, that's
would
exactly what
yeah.
I was thinking.
Mhm.
Or maybe like a child or something. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it depends if they're with their parents, but if you see like a kid in trouble or in
Yeah.
need or something, and you might
something
wanna-
morally wrong
Mhm.
is
Yeah.
when Kenzie's stepping in.
I feel like though this is hard to think about with each of us as just women in general. Like,
Yeah.
I'd be terrified to get in a fight with a stranger on the street any day of the week because I don't want to be mugged. I don't want to be beaten
No.
up. I don't want to be assaulted. And so it's like, so it has to be something really, really big in order to be
Yeah.
like fighting with somebody, because otherwise I will literally just something will roll off my back and like
Yeah.
I go into hiding. You
Here's
know?
the thing. I'm also not picturing argument as like a full-blown yelling match. Like it could also be like a heated debate or something.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
why I'm like seeing you guys on the street, like moving your hands, and like it
Yes.
obviously looks like something's going on.
Yeah.
Like,
and
you
maybe not in the
pause.
street, maybe just in public somewhere.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Like picture in a shop or at the mall, at a movie theater. Like not
I
literally
see.
you see that like you're driving and you see them on the street, you know?
Uh-huh. I see Jenny getting into a fight with somebody at like a concert or a movie theater or something if they're sitting in her seat and she has tickets that prove that it's her seat and they won't move, and then she is getting in a fight with that person. That's what
That's
I see.
funny. I guess I could see that.
No,
if it's
okay.
like there's no other spots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, what about Brittany and Abby?
Yeah, Brittany and Abby.
Abby.
Brittany.
Oh.
Oh, you go.
I was just going
What
to
are we doing
say,
first?
honestly, if we're going with like how I was saying, where it's more of like just a little mini heated debate or something like that, I could kind of see like anything small. And I don't mean that in like any bad way, but like, because I think for you, it'd almost be in a funny way, like not actual anger.
Yeah.
And so I could see like, oh, like, I'm trying to think of examples. Maybe somebody come back to me. But like it would be small things. It would be like funny, not super serious. I don't know.
I feel like this is an obvious answer. Like, you would argue with someone about like Atlas.
Yeah,
Like,
That's it. I was just about to say,
Yeah.
like, if there was
Yeah.
something having to do with your daughter, like you would, that's when Mama Bear would come out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see. I don't really see myself getting into like arguments with strangers, but
Like if someone
times I
was, like,
have been
being so
ready-
mean to Atlas, and you're like, "Hey,
Yep.
can you do something?" and they're like, "No," and you're like,
Yes.
Ugh,"
Or
and
if
then
they're
you
like,
fight.
oh, this baby's crying so much.
Right. Yeah.
Did I
in
tell
a
you guys
really
about-
obvious mean way?
that experience I did have similar to that.
No.
Atlas was like in Chick-fil-A in the play area with her two cousins, and I told her older cousin, like, watch out for her, please, because like you're here. And these girls who were 10 years old or something, like should not have been playing in this place that's made for toddlers, were chasing each other, running around and screaming so loud. And I was outside eating lunch, and I walk in because somebody came up to me and was like, by the way, your kid's like crying in the play area. And I was like, oh my gosh, what? Went into the play area. She's like crying. These girls are holding her hand, and she's like, she got scared because we were screaming. And I was like,
Why were you screaming?
stop screaming. And so I picked her up and I took her, and this mom who was sitting in the play area like tapped me on the shoulder and was like, she's been screaming this entire time.
Oh my god.
And I was like, excuse me? Like, you're mad at me and not these girls that are causing this 2-year-old to literally get scared? Like, I'm not a terrible mother because I just let her play with her cousins. I
Yeah.
was so pissed. And yeah, I was about to throw hands in that moment. So
yeah,
you're
as
right.
you
You're right.
should.
Yep.
That's so funny.
Okay,
Okay.
Brittany.
Brittany, I know. I feel like because you're like a good like protector, honestly. Like I think if anyone, like my first scenario that I pictured was like if you're like walking with your little sister and someone like really obviously checked her out or like kind of like harassed her in a way, you would be like, excuse me, like don't talk to her like that. And I think you would do that for any of us.
Yes,
Mhm.
Yeah.
that's correct.
Being like super inappropriate
You would call it out.
or
Yeah.
if someone was coming for Winnie,
Yeah.
you would protect her with your life.
Honestly, the protective side is so true because, like, honestly, the only time I get in like disagreements or things like that is like, I'm going to say this as vague as I can, at work, if there's ever situations where customers are being rude to like another employee, like I'm just very curt with them and like I don't put up with that at all. Like I literally had a situation just like a month ago where a customer, I ended up taking over the interaction and they were like being rude about another employee. And I was just like, they were helping you and you're not going to talk about them that way. And like got very serious. It was like, we're not doing this. And so that's where like that comes out. And I'm like, I will not stand for that. Like, you're not going to treat someone else rude just because you're the customer. You're like,
Yeah.
no.
Ooh,
have no
so I
patience
think
for that.
then a similar situation to that would be like if you are a customer at a store or maybe like a person eating at a restaurant and you see
True.
somebody be really rude to either like the cashier or the waitress or whatever, you will call them out on it and you'll be like, that is unacceptable. Like you should treat
Right.
them better.
That's
Like
true.
a situation where like basic politeness
Mhm,
is
mhm.
expected. Yeah.
Yep. That has happened many times. So yes, true.
Okay. Are we ready for my topic?
Yes.
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 Okay. Fun.
Yes.
Have you guys seen the trend on TikTok where it's this girl poses the question, what is one small decision that you made that changed the trajectory of your life? And everyone is
boy.
stitching this video with like different stories. It could be something like, oh, I decided to get pizza one day for lunch and the waitress at the pizza shop became my kidney donor one day. Like things
Wow.
like that. But in your
That's
life, what is
crazy.
one small decision that you made that changed the trajectory of your life? I'll go first while you guys think.
Oh my gosh.
This isn't a small decision, but I'm saying this because like it didn't, I don't know. It was like, it felt like a very casual decision to me, but like I feel like my decision to go to U of A did change the trajectory of my life because originally like I wanted to go like nanny in New York, but when I decided to go to U of A, it was kind of just like a, yeah, I guess that feels right. I feel fine about this. I'll just go to U of A. So it wasn't a small decision, but to me, it didn't feel like this super huge decision.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. Honestly,
For me,
Mm.
oh,
no, I was just going to say I kind of feel similar about going to U of A because literally the only reason I chose U of A was because they gave me more money in a scholarship. And so it was like, that was the only reason I went there. And obviously, like, that's changed so
Yeah.
many things because of all of you.
Aw.
yeah.
It was just like purely coincidence, kind of.
Yeah. Jenny, what were you going to say?
No, mine's kind of similar. Like, for me, it was choosing to move in to the BZ apartment because
Yeah.
I already actually had like committed to moving somewhere else, and like
I didn't know that.
it was like further away. It was with like people I didn't really know at all, and then my dad just like he was the one that went to, because I didn't go to like church or institute. He went to the institute and like saw the posting, and he was like, go to this instead, and it was cheaper by like $15. So I went and I was like, this is closer and cheaper. And then it changed everything. And then I met
Yeah.
all of my best friends and I met Jacob. And
was
because I
gonna
also
say.
never would have gone to the institute, like if I hadn't moved in.
Yeah.
So it changed literally everything in my entire life moving there.
I love that.
I cannot think of anything that also doesn't sound like that isn't the same answer.
Yeah. Well, and we're also still so young, so it's like hard to
Yeah.
look back and see.
The only other
Maybe it was your
thing-
decision to have sex one day and then you had Atlas.
True.
I love that.
the
One
only-
small decision.
There was one thing that kind of comes to mind, but when I was first starting out with like wedding photography, I was kind of still testing everything and seeing what I wanted to do. And I just really liked photographing couples. And so I was like, oh, I want to get better at this. And there was one person who I had followed for a while who posted and was like, I'm offering like shadow sessions, where you tag along with me on a shoot, like DM me if you want to come. And I was like, yeah, I want to be there, blah, blah, blah. And then she messaged me and I read the message wrong and thought that she was literally just offering me to like come and join her and not like pay for it. Now that I was brand new in the industry, so I was like, oh my gosh, this is free, this is amazing, I have to take this opportunity. Turns out it was actually like $500 that I was not expecting to pay. So I showed up. Oh
my gosh.
We did the whole thing. And then at the very end, she was like, okay, like, can you guys Venmo me right now? And I was like,
what?
Sorry. And then she's like, yeah, like you can Venmo me. This is my Venmo. And I was like, okay, I left my money on my dresser. Like I can send it to you when I get back to school on Monday. She's like, okay, that's fine. Went back to read the email. And then I was like, oh, she did say that it cost that much. And I was too excited to not pay attention. So I feel like it was sort of a mistake that I made. And like, luckily I did have randomly $500 sitting on my dresser at school that I used. But I know I would have never done that if I read that the right way at first. And it was literally because of that I started to get more comfortable photographing couples. Like it was like a mentor session in a way. And I would have never done that.
That's awesome.
If I like
A
didn't make
happy
that mistake.
coincidence.
So it kind of like kickstarted my confidence into becoming like a couples and wedding photographer. So that's fun.
That's crazy
And
in the membrane.
it's a write-off.
Whoop, whoop.
And it's a write-off, except I didn't have a business at that time, so
Well.
it was just my cash.
It happens.
It was my college money, my hard-earned money.
Something that I can think of is starting working where I currently am, because it was definitely not what I wanted to do, because normally I would come home and nanny during the summer, but that did not work out as I would have wanted it to. And so Josh told me I should apply there. And then obviously I'm still working there, which is amazing. But that's also how I met Scott. And I feel like also as a person, it's helped me change so much, just because like my worldview has changed and evolved quite a bit. And so there's a lot of little things in my life that would not be the same. And I genuinely don't think I would be the same person today without this job. So
That's awesome.
That's
love it.
crazy.
yeah.
Wow.
But again, that's not
Wowie
really like a
wowie.
small thing. That's a pretty big life change.
Yeah.
At the time,
But it
though,
was a small thing because you just got a job.
I was going to
It's
say at
just
the
a
job.
time, it felt very small because I was like, oh, I'll have this job for 6 months while I finish college. And then like,
yeah.
I'll go elsewhere.
And now look at you.
4 years later, here we are.
That's crazy.
I know. It really is. I love it though.
Cute. Should we do the next one?
Yep. Brittany.
Oh, it's my turn. Okay.
Mhm.
Yep.
Oh no. Okay. I have a couple that I'm trying to pick between, but these ones have all been kind of like fun and lighthearted. So I'll do my kind of
So let's get deep and dark.
Yeah. I don't know
Ending
how
on a serious note isn't the worst thing
No,
in the
it
world.
isn't. I don't know how deep it will be, but I have just been thinking a lot lately about manifestations and like affirmations. And so I don't necessarily like have any specific questions, but I want like you guys' thoughts on like manifesting affirmations as a whole. I guess because for me, I'm realizing like evaluating like my own spiritual journey and stuff like that. I think I've realized that like for me, faith really comes out in like the form of manifesting, and that like I'm way more comfortable with. And so I just want to know like, what are your thoughts on all of it, or how do you guys feel?
I love this. It's interesting because I'm thinking about this particularly in the context of like having a kid and stuff. There's so many different aspects to this, but like in my train of thought right now, raising a like daughter, I have and like, okay, raising her and teaching her certain things, and I want to make sure that I'm like teaching her the right things and like telling her things that don't add like extra pressure or stress later on down her life. So the idea of like telling a kid, like even every day, if you tell a kid like, you're so beautiful, you're so pretty, you have beautiful hair, you have this, like that just kind like, not that those are bad things, but you tell someone that a certain amount of times in their life, and then maybe that could create something.
Yeah.
Anyways, my point in saying this is I remember when she was born, or like before she was born, Andrew and I wrote down like letters and kind of sharing like our hopes for her and everything like that. And I remember being very specific because at the time I was like questioning a lot of things religiously and didn't really like want to put any pressure or say anything and then not have it like, in 20 years like resonate with me and like the way I raised her anymore. So I remember a lot of the things I said were kind of more in that manifesting realm of like, I want you to find joy in life. I want you to find the things you're passionate about and that you love and like things that make your heart happy. I want you to surround yourself with people that like, oh my gosh, I'm literally going to cry right now. Surround yourself with people that make you feel good and like feel important and all these things. When I was young, like before, when I was younger, I remember that a lot of the manifesting about my life was more about like, I want you to have, find a partner and marry in the temple. I want you to like be strong in faith and like have a life centered on Christ. I don't resonate with any of that stuff anymore. So like manifesting in my mind is sort of a way to like change the script of like your expectations for your life. And I'm so sorry this is going so long. I'm
this
trying
is
to
great.
figure out what to say.
I love this.
This is so good.
Anyways, okay, what are your thoughts on that?
Honestly, that just healed a part of me hearing you say that, because I think I've been trying to figure out why like manifesting and affirmations feels so good for me at this point in my life. Oh my gosh. I don't sorry to get deep and emotional on all of these, but I've also been emotional this week. But I think it's because like there are different aspects of it that like don't always resonate, and oh my gosh, goodness. I think manifesting keeps it almost like general enough that like at any point in my life I can relate to it and be like, like even affirmations, as silly as it is, it's like with Winnie, like we sometimes like do affirmations, but it's always more of like, oh, you're so strong, or like you're the best puppy. Like I know it's silly, but like having it more rooted in like who you are as a person and not those external actions or even external like beauty and stuff like that. It feels better. And like with manifesting too, it's like, oh my gosh, like literally hearing you talk about Atlas in that way is like, it's so beautiful, because it's like, I want someone to tell me like, I want you to find joy in life, and like, I want you as a person to be happy. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. I did not expect this topic to bring this out, but like, it feels so much better than like,
the specifics.
Yeah, the specific, because that's so limiting. And it's like, oh, I can only like, I want you to find joy in Christ or whatever. Like, kind of like you were saying, Abby, it's like, okay, but what if I don't? And like, then am I not allowed to be happy? Or it's like,
right.
If I just tell someone like, I want you to find joy in your life or joy in the people around you, it's like, that could be in a religion, that could not be. And it's okay either way. Wow. Abby, that was beautiful to hear.
Well, and just hearing you like say that. So I think of like my patriarchal blessing, and if you don't know what a patriarchal blessing is, just look it up. I don't
Yeah. Google it.
have the energy to
Yeah.
explain it. But it ends with saying that like all of these blessings will be yours, like based upon your willingness to follow God and his commandments.
Yeah.
And that is so limiting, and I don't know why I think of that all the time, but so I like the ideas of saying that like I want you to be happy, and you deserve happiness, and you deserve to find your passions and to follow them wherever they take you.
Yeah.
I think I don't I am trying to get into like manifesting things. My thing is like the key to happiness is like lowered expectations. So like if like I was trying to like manifest myself doing my 10K in an hour, and I was like, well, if I don't do it in an hour, I'm going to feel so defeated. So I don't know. It's hard.
So that's where,
Yeah.
like, I think for me, it's going even more general than that. Like, if I were you, what I would, and I'm not saying you have to do this, but like what I've tried to switch things to being is like, instead of it being like, oh, I am going to do my 10K in an hour, saying like, I'm going to do my 10K in a time that I'm proud of. And it's like making it more general, because it's like that could be an hour, but maybe it's an hour and 3 minutes, and that's okay too.
Yeah.
Right.
Because like the 2 affirmations that I currently write every day is still like, I am strong and confident, and then I am living the life I am meant to. And that one also feels like so good, because it's like whatever I'm doing is okay, but it makes me want to make sure every day I'm doing something that feels right with me. Because it's just like general enough. It's not saying like, oh, I'm doing these 3 specific things. It's like, oh, I'm on the path I'm supposed to be. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, and it feels good.
Yeah, I like that more, because life changes so much. Like who we are, where we're going, we're so fickle. And so that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I think too, like when you manifest things, like you start to notice things more. So like,
Yeah.
let's say you
Totally.
manifest like, I am going to be a more gracious person or something like that. And then you start noticing all the things that you're grateful for. And it's not that you weren't grateful for those things before, but it's that you're now taking notice of it as well. And so I think like mindset is and intention is, they're important factors into this. When you, what were you just saying that you were, oh yes, like I'm going to do something every day that I'm proud of, or like I am proud of myself
Who
today.
I am. Yeah.
Who I am. Yes. Let's say you manifest that. Now all of a sudden maybe you don't even make any sort of change, but now you're noticing 3 things in your day that are making you proud, and you're just like, you recognize that it exists more. Whereas
That's a
maybe
good point.
before you're just like, I don't feel proud of myself. Like, why don't I, blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, look at all these things.
Yeah.
You
It's
know?
almost like tricking yourself into like a confirmation bias. Like this is so superficial, but I always think about like seeing cars and like noticing them. Like I did not know a PT Cruiser existed until meeting Kara. And
Yeah.
then I remember so distinctly after like seeing that car everywhere. And I was like,
Everywhere.
this didn't exist before, but it's just because I wasn't looking for it and I didn't know about it. And so it's the
Yeah.
same thing with all of this. It's like, you are doing things that other people are proud of every day. But if you're not like saying like, oh, I'm proud of myself, or like, I'm going to do something I'm proud of, then like, you're not going to look for it in yourself. So our words are so important to ourselves.
Yeah.
We
Oh, Jenny, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying, amazing topic.
Oh,
It's been,
Do you have anything to add, Jenny?
well, it's just like hard. Like I think very differently about, like it's just interesting listening. Like I've never thought about it in that, like to me, I have always like manifested both specific and general.
Yeah.
And like I've never thought about it in that way you guys were saying, like being somewhere. Like I like to think of like what Kenzie was saying, like running in a certain amount of time, and then I like to look to examples of like, oh, I can do this. Like I've done this before.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I think there's a lot of stuff behind it that's
Yeah.
cool.
Well, and that's what's cool about it as a whole is I feel like you can make it as general or specific as you want. And it
Right.
Mhm.
like, yeah. I don't know. I feel
Kind
like
of
I'm
just
just
whatever works for you as a person.
And
Totally.
also, like, if, like, for example, if I'm like trying to manifest like doing the 10K in an hour, it's like, okay, maybe I won't do it on November 11th
Right.
at Catalina Island, but it might come 5 years from now. But like,
Yeah.
Totally.
Totally.
being flexible with our goals.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yay.
Not having such a hard
Yep.
deadline. So I loved this.
I also think just one other thing like that came into my brain. I heard the phrase one time that like girls aren't supposed to know that they're pretty. They are supposed to be told that they're pretty or something like that. Like you know,
Truer
or
words have
girls
never
aren't
been
supposed to
spoken.
know that they're pretty unless they're
Yeah.
told
Kidding.
by someone first.
Yes, I've heard that.
And I sort of just think that manifesting is a way of telling yourself like the things that you want. So instead of
Yeah.
relying on other people to tell you that you're strong, other people to tell you that you're pretty or smart or anything like that, it's like, what am I going to tell myself that I am instead? And then giving yourself permission to think about yourself in those ways and not rely on others to tell you.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like
That makes
taking back
sense.
your own power and like creating your narrative. I love
Yeah.
that.
True.
Thank you guys.
Amazing, you guys.
This was
Awesome.
amazing.
We love the 10-minute topics.
Yeah. Hopefully
Yeah.
you guys enjoy this too because it's really fun for us. But yeah, that's all we have
Yeah.
for you today. I hope you
Yep.
enjoyed
Yeah.
it.
Follow us
Listen to
at
us.
BZ's podcast.
Love you
Yes,
all.
love.
Bye bye.
Thanks for hanging with us. We love ya.